The old lighthouse stood defiant. A sentinel against the fury of the sea, it was perched upon a jagged cliff overlooking a treacherous stretch of coastline. The waves crashed against the rocks below, their thunderous roar echoing across the desolate landscape. Inside the lighthouse lived Elias, the keeper of the light. His face, weathered by time and the salty air, was a map of the sea itself. Elias had been the keeper for as long as anyone could remember. He knew every inch of the coastline, every treacherous reef, every hidden cove. He had seen storms come and go, had witnessed both the beauty and the brutality of the sea. The lighthouse was his home, and the light his solemn duty. Every night, as the sun dipped below the horizon, he would climb the winding stairs to the top of the tower. There he would light the lamp, its powerful beam cutting through the darkness, a beacon of hope for sailors far out at sea. Elias meticulously cleaned the lenses. They were the eyes of the lighthouse, and he treated them with reverence. The air was thick with the smell of salt and kerosene. He carefully adjusted the wicks, ensuring the flame burned bright and true. His movements were slow and deliberate, honed by years of practice. Outside, the wind howled. It whipped around the tower, trying to shake it from its foundations. But the lighthouse stood firm, a symbol of enduring strength. Elias felt a pang of unease. The sea was restless tonight, its mood unpredictable. He peered out into the darkness, his eyes scanning the horizon. The storm arrived with a vengeance. The wind shrieked, tearing at the roof of the lighthouse. Waves, now towering behemoths, crashed against the cliffs, sending plumes of spray high into the air. Rain lashed down, driven sideways by the wind. The lighthouse groaned under the onslaught, but it held strong. Elias watched from the lantern room, his heart heavy. He knew what a storm like this could mean for ships caught in its path. He thought of the sailors, battling the elements, their lives hanging in the balance. His hands moved to the lamp, checking its flame, making sure it burned bright, a lifeline in the storm. Through the driving rain, Elias saw it. A flicker of light, faint and struggling out in the maelstrom. A ship caught in the teeth of the storm. He watched as it was tossed about like a toy, its mast a broken spine against the raging sky. The light, a desperate plea for help, grew weaker, threatening to be extinguished altogether. Elias sprang into action. He raced down the winding stairs, his heart pounding in his chest. He had to do something, anything, to help. He grabbed his oilskins and his sou'wester, pulling them on as he fought his way back up to the lantern room, battling against the wind that tried to tear him from the stairs. Section 5, Leviathan's Shadow. As Elias struggled back up the stairs, he saw something else. Something that sent a chill down his spine. A shape, vast and dark, moved beneath the waves, its form only hinted at by the phosphorescence of the churning water. It circled the struggling ship, a predator stalking its prey. It was the Leviathan, the legendary sea serpent spoken of in hushed tones by sailors. A creature of myth and terror. Elias had dismissed such tales as superstition, but now seeing it with his own eyes, he knew they were true. Fear threatened to overwhelm him, but Elias pushed it down. He had a duty, to the light, to the ship, to the sailors fighting for their lives. He clambered back into the lantern room, his breath ragged. He adjusted the lenses, focusing the beam, making it even brighter, a beacon of hope in the heart of the storm. He aimed the light at the struggling ship, guiding it, showing it the way through the treacherous rocks that lay hidden beneath the waves. He prayed that it would be enough, that they would see his light, that they would survive. The Leviathan, drawn by the light, turned its attention to the lighthouse. It rose from the waves, a towering wall of muscle and teeth, its eyes burning with a cold, ancient fire. Elias stood his ground. He knew that he was no match for the creature, but he would not abandon his post. He would face the Leviathan, just as he had faced every storm. He continued to work the light, guiding the ship, even as the creature slammed its massive body against the base of the lighthouse, trying to topple it into the sea. The lighthouse shook, but it held firm. Slowly, painstakingly, the ship responded to Elias's guidance. It limped through the storm, battered but not broken, drawn towards the safety of the cove that lay just beyond the cliffs. The Leviathan, frustrated, turned its attention back to the ship, but it was too late. The ship had cleared the rocks. It was safe. With a roar of fury, the Leviathan disappeared beneath the waves. The storm, as if exhausted from its own rage, began to subside. The wind died down, the rain eased, and the clouds parted, revealing a sky filled with the first light of dawn. Elias, exhausted but triumphant, watched as the ship dropped anchor in the calm waters of the cove. He had faced the storm and he had won. He knew that his light had saved the lives of the sailors on board that ship. He knew too that he had seen something few men ever witnessed, and lived to tell the tale. The Leviathan was real, a creature of legend, a reminder of the power and the mystery of the sea. As the sun rose higher in the sky, painting the clouds with hues of gold and crimson, Elias made his way down from the lantern room. His duty for another night was done. The lighthouse, his legacy, stood as a beacon, a symbol of hope, and a testament to the courage of one old man.